Hello, hello. This is our Z100 Artist Interview Lounge presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. I'm Crystal Rosas, and today, a global hitmaker who's made history in more ways than one. The voice behind some of the biggest anthems of our time, and he's not only the first Indian artist to land #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with his Diamond certified smash Down, but also a multi-award winner across the UK, the Brits, here in the US, Best Male Acts, Best Urban Acts, and more. His legacy spans over 2 billion total streams. Today he draws almost 10 million monthly listeners, millions of followers and fans around the world. He continues to redefine the boundaries of pop and R&B. We're excited to hear about his latest single, Life as a Dad. We are welcoming the one and only Jay Sean.
Wow. What a beautiful intro. You read it word for word how I typed it to you. I love it. It's beautiful. No, that was even stuff I didn't know in there. Wow. Thank you. No, it's beautiful to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, how does it feel to hear what you've done?
Because obviously, it's not like I sort of go and read my own Wikipedia page. Do you know what I mean? And go like, oh, wow, I did that. You know, it's funny. I always tell people, you don't stop and think sometimes. It gets so busy that, like, for example, when Down went #1, we didn't stop and say, oh, look what we just achieved, because you're so busy and you're on the run and you're on the go that since that time, I always made an effort now to just be in the moment for a sec, right? Because now what do? We pull out our phones and so we're not necessarily always present, but now, man, I really sort of let it sink in, and it's really, really beautiful.
So what do you think about when you look back to Little Jay Sean and were you singing in school? Were you singing at school? Did your parents have you in?
You know what's funny? I don't know if America knows this. I was actually a rapper before I was a singer, and it was a funny journey because I broke America 2009, right? With Down being my first single, and then the funny thing is, I always tell people, like, in England nobody could break America. It was just really difficult. Think about it. This is like, it was really hard. Even some of our most iconic pop stars just could not crack America. I was like, guys, I did it on my first song. It's not that hard. But, like, we're making a joke about it. But we at the time had no idea what it meant and how many songs exist in the world, and then for yours to climb up there and be the most played across the whole country. It was to the point where literally we would play a game. No matter what city we landed in, we'd switch on any radio station and see how long it took for it to come on. And it was just such an amazing feeling. But it's all so fast, And before America, I started off as a kid as a rapper. And then...
Wait, so what were you listening to when you were little?
Oh, man, I was just all 90s hip hop. Right, so it was like, again, it was Jay-Z back then still, it was Snoop Dogg, and it was Mobb Deep, and Fushnikins and Guru and Gangstar.
And what were your parents listening to?
None of that.
I know, that's what I'm thinking, right?
None of that. They were into like a bit more sort of like the more soft rock.
Okay.
And also being Indian myself, grew up in an Indian household where, of course, we'd have Bollywood movies, but we'd have lots of these beautiful, emotional Indian music playing. But at the same time, I was like into R&B and hip hop. And so I had kind of this best of both worlds. I had the emotional, beautiful side of those melodic, beautiful Bollywood songs, but then again had that street edge from the hip hop and R&B that I was listening to. So it kind of was a natural progress and process for me to just shape my sound. So any songs that I write, I'm very sort of melody driven, which I think why even if you don't necessarily know the words, you're able to sort of just hum pretty much any one of my songs because I focus a lot on melody.
I hear that with like the dad. Not me ill, but yeah. that was unique to you at that time.
Yeah, and it's that actually was a funny story about that little part. We'd written the whole song, and it was about 3:00 in the morning, right? Okay. We were at Miami Hit Factory. It was the second week, I think, that I'd been just signed to Cash Money. And so we're sort of writing songs and thinking, all right, what should we do? I had written a whole other song that day and recorded it. We're about to leave the studio. And my producer says to me, he goes, hey, listen, real quick before we leave. This is 2:00 in the morning, by the way. He's like, I just want to play you what I'm thinking we should write to tomorrow. So he brings up just the instrumental of Down. Dun, 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 dun. And as a songwriter, I pull out my phone immediately because I know that the first melody I'm going to do is going to be what I pluck out of the air. And it's quite normal for that to be your initial instinct of how you feel when you hear the music. So I try not to miss it. So as soon as he played it, I just started going... And my co-writer, he's there and he's looking at me and he's vibing off me. So before we know it, instead of just listening to it, we're writing the song now at 2 a.m, right? And we weren't overthinking it. I was just like, you ought to know. And he's like, great. I go, you got something? He goes, tonight is the night to let it. I'll go, amazing, great. It was a feeling, right?
It was
we
natural.
always thought we would come back tomorrow and rewrite it, but for the sake of like whatever it was in the moment, let's kind of put a sketch down. We write the whole thing in about 45 minutes, right? And so then, of course, the producer's like, okay, they're in a zone right now. I better just record him quickly. So he's like, oh guys, he's just trying to play it cool. He's like, oh, all right, before we leave, why don't we just get a quick demo? And I was like, oh, bro, I saw my phone. He's like, no, just put it down quickly. We can come back and recut it tomorrow. Like, all right. So I'm behind the mic and I don't realize it at the time, but I'm cutting the final vocal. He has tricked me into thinking, because he knows he's in his zone, do what you feel. And so we did that, did the whole song, and baby down, 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 down. Then we were like, something's missing. And he's like, Jay, get behind the mic for a second and just try to think if you can freestyle like a post hook. And that's when I said to him, I was like, yo, crank the auto-tune up. Because if you crank the auto-tune up, you can go somewhere without overthinking. Because you're not worried about how your voice is going to sound or if you're going to be off key or off pitch. And that's when I just came up with that melody. And that ended up being like the earworm that can't get out of people's heads. But it was just in the moment. And I truly believe from a spiritual point of view that it was meant to be at that time. We just plucked it out and it was just given to us and we just caught it. We caught the lyrics, we caught the melodies, and we didn't overthink it, and it felt right, and it was there, and now it's there forever, you know?
So were you prepared for that at that time? Were you already open micing and singing? Like, where were you in your career at that time of Down?
Oh, okay, yeah. This is actually, it's good because I think a lot of America doesn't know this, which is fun for me to be able to talk about. So prior to Down, I already had I had two albums out worldwide, okay? And that was in England and the rest of the world. I just hadn't had any releases out in America because, like I said, it's like considered to most people the hardest territory to crack. So I had a huge song at the time called Ride It. And Ride It was so big around the rest of the world that Baby and Slim from Cash Money, they heard Ride It. They saw the music video for me in Ride It. Which my producer had sent them because he was working with Wayne at the time. He's like, yo, I just found this kid from England. You guys should check him out. And Birdman immediately was like, yo, I want him to fly him over here. And I get a call from Jeremy and he's like, hey, you're going to Miami because Cash Money might want to sign you. And I was like, what? Like Lil Wayne Cash Money? They were like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, what is that like when they fly you out? Is it like...
Oh, once I was with them, it was private jet everywhere. But obviously, you know, when we flew over to them, I paid for the ticket or whatever.
Oh,
maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they did.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I remember being in Miami and just fresh out of England. I couldn't be more dorky Hugh Grant when I fresh from England, that I'm walking in there, and of course, you know, Cash Money is tattoos and diamonds and stuff in their mouth, and I'm like, hi guys, pleasure to be here, just like completely out of, you know what I mean, just a fish out of water. But that's what I think was the beauty of it, is because Birdman and Slim just thought, this dude ain't trying to be anything like, he's from his own world, half the time we couldn't understand me because my accent was so strong, and I sometimes couldn't understand them because their accent was strong from New Orleans. But we vibed over the music, and we vibed over the vision. And he was like, yo, I don't care where you're from, what language you speak, what accent you have, you know, I love your music, and we love your music, and we want to sign you. We think you deserve to be out here in America. And that was it. That's all it took. And then we started writing, and then the magic happened.
And you were in Miami when you wrote Down.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets released.
Mm-hmm. Gets released, and I remember there was a really fun part, actually. We did the song, and I remember I said something was missing, and we did the little down part, and then play it to Baby and Slim, and they're listening to it. And I remember Slim just had his eyes closed, and I think he knew at the time this might be a monster, but he didn't say anything. There was something that told me he loved it. Then he calls me back. We're in New York again. He calls me back and he's like, yo, I need you to come to Miami. He goes, I've been listening to this Down song over and over. He goes, I just think there's something missing, and there's an issue with the song. I'm like, oh no, man, not an issue. We don't want an issue. He's going to fly me all the way back for an issue on the song? Like, oh, better go. We went. 2 o'clock, again, it's very late over there. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning again. We get into the studio and Slim's like, yo, man, I want to play you something. Something's weird on the record. I went, okay. So he plays me the song. I'm listening to it. I'm like, no, this sounds just like how we did it. What's weird about it? So as soon as my second verse is over, of course, we hear Wayne's voice on the song. And it was a huge surprise to all of us because I had no idea he was going to put Wayne on it. Wayne did the iconic verse, and it was the first time we all heard it, and Slim's face was just beaming. Baby was beaming because they just knew that they had caught me by surprise. And it ended up being, I think, one of the most iconic, memorable rap verses on a pop song ever.
So when you were in that seat and hearing that Wayne was on it now, what was going through your head?
I was just jumping up and down, like, you know, we're excited. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, again,
like Lil Wayne heard your song and then liked it and then rapped on it.
Yeah, and did like not even just the ultimate 16 bars. Again, just kind of like just amazing how Wayne knows how to interpret a song. He's not going to do those same 16 on a rap record of his, perhaps, but he knew what the song needed and he did it his own way. But it was, of course, we were just, you know, I think one thing that has stayed the same with me throughout my career is that I've tried not to lose the excitement. And I try not to have expectations. After you go number one with a song like that, and it's not just a number one, it's, as you guys know, you guys still play it every day. It's like in history now, it's a classic. And not many people get to say that about their music. And it really is, to me, something that I appreciate so deeply and think about every day. There's 1 million new songs now that come out a week. 1 million new ones on top of the billions that exist. And you guys, as a radio station, only get to choose a few. And I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm always grateful for that. And I've lived in that the whole time. And I think, so when Wayne's verse came in, I was just grateful. I was just like, this is just amazing. I'm just a little kid from a small town called Hounslow in England. And now I'm here, signed to the hottest hip hop label in the world. At the same time, Drake and Nicki are getting signed. It was just a madness. But it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I just lived in it.
So then you're living in it, and then the song starts blowing up. And what is that adjustment like? Because you had performed and you were you know big for where you're from, but this is getting to America. So what is that like, hearing from your friends, your family, you?
Yeah, I think for me, because I was enjoying it so much, and also this I enjoy. I love coming in here and having these chats. You know, it's fun for me. It's not just the performance side of my songs that I enjoy. I enjoy all of this. I enjoy being able to, you know, share my story and being able to entertain people, make people laugh, make people cry, whatever it is you do through your music, through your words, it's a gift. So anywhere I went, I think I had at the back of my mind, I'd always told myself, whatever you're doing here in America, bro, however you got here, you are blessed to be on this journey. So just ride this roller coaster and go wherever it's going to take you, but don't forget to enjoy it. And I think it was those moments, I still have my family in my music videos, my family and best friends. Every single one of them have been in a music video of mine at some point. Even when I was in America doing this, I said, nah, you got to get mom and dad in this one. Whatever it was. It's like, what a beautiful opportunity, So live in it, make the most out of it.
And Down just went diamond.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it just went diamond. Just insane. I know.
What does that even mean to you?
I don't know. It's just, it's what does it mean to other people that I think about. You know what I mean? And that's the only reason it's diamond. That's the only reason you guys still play it to this day. It means, it changed my whole life, but it means a lot to a lot of people. I hear stories when people say, man, you don't realize, like, that's the song I fell in love with to my girl. We played it all the time. We laughed every time we were in the car. We were singing along and can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about her and all this kind of stuff, right? Whatever it is, it's what it means to people. And it's the reason why they still continue to play, my music to this day. That's what I've always tried to do, I think, is to write songs that stick with people, and somehow it puts a little flag in the timeline of their life. They go, that song right there, I remember where I was, who I was with, who my friends were, what I was studying, whatever it is, they don't forget that. And so I think that's the only reason that, people continue to play it to this day. It's a beautiful thing.
I can't even imagine the amount of stories he will give you. Like, you are just a sponge of, like, everyone's energy because, like, you were a core moment for a lot of people, like a timestamp. Mm-hmm. What are some interesting or stories that stand out to you? Can you think of one that you were like...
You mean from fans? I mean, there's been so many. I the amount of people who've used the slow jam version of my songs as their first dance, because I'd always do like a slow jam version, that they got married to that song. That's on their video forever. That's, you're part of their life journey now. There's people who, I've had some stories where people said it saved their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. There's lots of deep moving ones, and there's lots of funny ones, right? And for me, I think, even what's bizarre is, how many years it's been since that song was released. And just the other day, my daughter's on her iPad, and she's just scrolling through, on YouTube Shorts, because that's all I allow her to watch at the moment. She's not allowed on TikTok and stuff like that yet. Yeah. She's on YouTube Shorts and stuff. It's my song just all the time. She keeps, of course, scrolling past it. She's not like I'm like, oh, you can let it play, God. It's like, it's your dad at the end of the day.
Give me a little spin, please.
I'm in the same room. Gonna hurt my feelings. And she's like, Dad, it's like, yeah, it's everywhere. And I went, why? She goes, well, people did a dance to it. Now everyone's trying to copy the dance. And I was like, what? That's how to look at the dance. The dance is tricky. It's a very, very hard dance.
That's a lot for you to say because you're a performer.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'll be real with you. I can't do that dance at all. There's a reason why I just sort of run and jump on stage. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, turns out it's a huge viral. This happened last week. And it ended up being TikTok made it Song of the Summer in the UK. It was thousands and thousands of videos of people doing this dance. And I was just like, the resurgence that it keeps happening is beautiful. So yeah, now you got like a whole bunch of you got 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds who are discovering this for the first time.
That is so cool. And I was talking to you off camera, but there's people that think that the song is new or think that you're a new artist. How do you navigate that?
Yeah. I love it. You know what's mad is that a lot of my new fan base now are Gen Z. Okay, like let's think. Like I said, my career spanned over 20 years now. So the OG fans have kids and jobs, but their younger brothers and sisters are now still fans. So when I do my shows now, they're still just Gen Z, majority of them, who for the first time are getting to see me perform live. And that is a blessing. And I've talked to some of my peers in the music industry who were in the same era as me, who've been going for 20 plus years. And they said, yeah, they were like, you know how blessed we are to be doing that, to have a new fan base now at this point, to be who discover our music. It's just, again, it's one of those things where you sort of just say, this doesn't happen for everyone. You could be hot for a minute now, or your song could be viral, but it's like a 30-second snippet of one song. How are you meant to tour off that for the rest of your life? You know, so it's again, you sort of look at those things and see it as a blessing.
And you've also been able to stay relevant, which is, we're just talking about that. That's really hard to do. What have you learned on this journey about that?
Yeah, look, you know, that word relevant is so funny, right? But no, it is. Because, true, everything nowadays can be forgotten very quickly. Video game can be forgotten really quickly. You know, that you download. Oh, I hate that rubbish. Next. Friends. Partners. Swipe, next, right? We have a lot of choice. So I think the only thing I've tried to do is to be just myself on these social media platforms. And look, there's the artist side of me, but then there's the goofball side of me. There's the dad side of me. There's, you know, the friend side of me. There's a lot of that. And I sort of just have always tried to be the same way that I'm talking to you now is the same way that my friends will know me as. They're like, yeah, it's not somebody speaking to me beforehand saying, oh, say this, these are your talking points, you're not allowed to talk about this. It's just like, hey, everyone sees every part of you now through social media. So I think by showing some of the funny things that I do with my kids and stuff like that, some people just, you know, some people literally will come up and see me with my kids on the street and be like, oh my God, Ava, and not, oh my God, Jay Sean. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, don't worry, she's amazing. You know? So I think that's one really important part.
And throughout the years, you've been in rooms and been able to connect with people that are your fans, but also you are huge fans of them. What have been some really cool moments of people that you've met that you never thought your music would bring you to?
Oh my God, there's too many. There's really like so many. The other day I posted a snippet of Ed Sheeran talking about me in a podcast that he did maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was flying around everywhere, and I got sent it by lots of people. And Ed talked about the time when his biggest show was opening up for me in a town called Norwich in London, in England, right? And I remember that day, but I've never spoken about it until Ed just spoke about it, and then I sort of posted his clip. But
so you've seen Ed Sheeran grow, and you're like, I remember when he like opened for. So many artists have opened. You remember when so many artists have opened for you, actually?
Yeah, I mean, I remember once. There's so many of these, especially when we did all of these, you know, the radio shows and stuff like that. There's, you know. There was a time when, for example, me and Bruno Mars went on a tour together with Enrique, and it was us three boys just on the road for ages, and it was a lot of fun. And then many years later, Bruno became the Bruno Mars that he is now, and doing stadiums and stuff like that. I remember, I think I must have seen him at like maybe it was the VMAs or something. So we're backstage or whatever. I'm in the bathroom, and I've come out and washing my hands, and Bruno Mars is standing next to me, and he had grown his big sort of afro hair by then, so he's like tweaking his hair and stuff, and I hadn't seen Bruno in years, so I was like, Bruno, and he goes, oh my God, Jay Sean, what up, man? And we gave each other this big hug, and I go, what is going on with the hair? That is amazing. And as I did that, I sort of rubbed it a little bit, right? And he goes, come on, I'm on stage in 2 minutes, man. Wow, come on, man. And he starts tweaking his hair again. I was like, you're not really, are you? He goes, I am. God damn it, Jay Sean. Ruined my hair 2 minutes before I'm on stage. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. It looks good. And then I went back, sat down, and I said to my wife, I think Bruno Mars is angry at me. I might have just ruined his hairstyle. He's about to go on stage now. But yeah, you have all of these wonderful moments. I remember Taylor Swift being side stage, dancing to Down, you know, and just thinking, what is my life at this point? It's just, all sorts. And she was crushing. She was still crushing back then. She came out of her dressing room to watch me perform that song because it was like her favorite song at the time, and Do You Remember and stuff. But just so many really funny moments.
I'm so sorry I interrupted you when you were talking about Ed Sheeran and then you saw him on the podcast.
So the Ed thing, with that, what had happened was this is pre-America. So this would have been 2000, I don't know when, 5. And I was doing a show and I had 2 albums out in England. And so I was, obviously had my own concert going on. And he was on the same bill, he was, on before me. And I'm in my green room getting ready and there's a knock on the door. My brother was tour managing me at the time, and he opened the door and there stood Ed, right? And he's like, hello, mate, I'm just wanting to talk to Jay, and, we're performing at the same time. Oh, how you doing, man? Yeah, my name's Ed. I'm performing here today as well. I was like, oh, wicked, man, nice to meet you. And he goes, yeah, it's my CD, man. Just thought you could check it out if you want. I was like, oh, sick. Yeah, cool, man. I was like, have a great show. So he did his show and stuff, and we leave. I finished my show, and we're driving home, and it was a bit of a drive. So we put the CD on in the car. We listened to it, and we really listened to it.
Wow.
And you never normally know what you're going to get. And people do give you music all the time. But we just stopped talking. We listened to it. And I remember so distinctly pulling up to the driveway. My brother switched the car off. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I was like, whoever this Ed guy is, he's out here. He's going to be huge. And that was it. And we went into the house, and then 5 years later, I see him again in LA at Bootsy Bellows, and I was like, Ed Sheeran, my God, I remember you from that show. He goes, yeah, mate. I go, well, you did all right, didn't you? It's just, absolutely went on to crush it.
You manifested Ed Sheeran's career.
I can't take responsibility for that. I wish. Can you imagine if I had some type of way that I could have signed this kid at the time? Hey guys, I think I found something. Just an incredible journey he's had.
But your Bruno Mars impression was wicked good. That was so good. I think that people forget that you beatbox. I think you produce and you beatbox.
Yeah. So that's when I started. When I was in my, started music, it was really rapping and beatboxing I was obsessed with.
That's so cool.
It really was. And yeah, now my son beatboxes. I try to teach him.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. My son's 7 all day long. He's just annoying Tara around the house. Just going, pee, pee, pee. He hasn't learnt how to actually do it. He just makes noises at the moment. And I'm like, add the snare. Pee, pee. And he's like, no, Dad, one thing at a time. Pee, pee, pee. Just everywhere all
in the
the
bathroom,
time.
in the shower, peeing. That is
really
so cute. You guys have a little duo soon.
It's cute. Yeah, so that was all from my rapping, when I used to do that, and then I made mixtapes, and then the mixtapes went on to get spread from uni to uni and college to college, and then I'm doing local shows and festivals, and then I got discovered. And
so you were just I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep wherever there's a microphone. I'm just need to get in there.
And meanwhile, I was studying to be a doctor, which some people know, some people don't. So I was in med school.
Jeez.
Doing medical exams, and at the same time oh God, I better warm up my voice for the show tonight.
Good for you. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of a long journey of many wonderful twists and turns.
And there's no stopping. We have the single that I heard this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Time.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
A love poem.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. America never really got to hear any sort of ballads from me. It was always up-tempo stuff. Mm-hmm. Even, I don't know if you guys even know, but a couple of years ago, you guys were playing this song, Ride It by Regard. And that was actually a remix of the Ride It that I told you about that got me signed in the very first place. So, that again once was Wait,
how did that happen? Did they spin it? Did you work with them? Did they act?
Didn't know each other at all. He lived somewhere in Eastern Europe, and he was spinning at the time. He was like a local DJ, and he'd got into his cab. Again, it's just insane how things happen in life and how it's destined to happen. He had just finished his gig. He gets into a cab that he hailed at that precise moment in time. That cab happened to have a radio station on that was playing my song, Ride It. And he's like, I love this song. I should go home and remix this tonight. Goes home, remixes it, gets my vocal off of the internet, so it's easy to do. Grab the acapella, did a remix, uploads it onto YouTube, forgets about it. 3 years later, TikTok is invented. Some user somewhere in the world picked his remix off of YouTube of my song, uploaded it as a snippet, does a little dance, goes viral, ends up becoming the biggest dance record in the world. It's just insane.
It's like, it's not even you're just like living your life, and now a song
I'm
with
like,
your vocals, like
I'm
you're
like,
just like, I'm just trying to live, bro.
I'm like, thanks, Ricardo. I was like,
in.
thanks, bro. I'm just sitting here, cha-ching. So it's, you know, it was again just a beautiful, just random. Like, I don't think it's random. Again, it's just all, it's the way it's meant to be.
It's a feeling. Like, he got that feeling. He could have heard so many songs from this.
Could have been a different radio station.
That he was like,
could have been a different radio station. Could have been a different cab. Remix wouldn't even exist.
wow.
You know? Yeah.
So now with this ballad
and now
out,
I have this ballad which I've always been wanting to put out. You know, for me, this is like one of those songs that I think the world always needs a good love song with no frills, no extraness going on anywhere, just a piano or a guitar and a vocal, some words that hit the heart right. And it's just really nice to be able to put that into the world. And, you know, I'm very proud of it. Actually got the music video dropping in about a couple of days for it, because even though people don't make music videos anymore, really, I wanted to make one for this. I know now it's like, no, make 7,000 pieces of content, 7 seconds long. But I'm like, yeah, and I want to kind of do a video for this. So yeah, really proud of this song.
what was the video like? How was shooting that?
It was beautiful. We shot it here in New York, actually, and I'm the narrator in the music video, so I still find ways to pout. But really, it's not my story; it's the love story of lots of different people, and that you see around New York. You know, like you have that Humans of New York kind of thing, and it's their story. So yeah, that's the kind of the feeling behind the song "Time." Yeah.
But it was scripted. Like, you had people that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So super excited about that. Again, we're just wanting to put out some different stuff into the world, you know, different feelings.
And it's good to see that you're living those feelings, you know, a love ballad where you're here with your wife and your kids, seeing them grow up is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm starting my journey too. I get married next month.
Oh, congrats.
Yes. And seeing families like you guys just make me so proud to be like that.
Oh, thank you.
What advice do you have for people that are in their love era and, you know, want to have a beautiful family? Because it's not easy, I hear.
No, I mean, look, the only thing I can talk about is from my own experience, right? Tara was always there for me throughout the whole journey, but always happy to see me shine, and not like, why are you the one who gets to get all the shine, and why are you the one people are taking pictures with? Eventually, when they saw her, they're like, yeah, forget you, Jay Sean. Look, your wife's beautiful. I'm taking a picture with her, mate. Right? But it's because also Tara was an artist first. She knew what this was like. And I always tell people, it's like funny, when I used to pick the lead girls for my video, it wasn't always me picking it. Half the time, Tara was like, if it's not going to be me, she better be hot. So then she'd like look at all the girls and be like, yeah, okay, her. She's awesome. Grab her. And we'll do that. And then people would ask her, how do you deal with girls screaming when he's on stage? And she says, and which I'll never forget this, she said, the day they stop screaming is the day we're in trouble. And I think it's that kind of thing, that you, in a partner, be happy for each other, let each other shine, let each other live, you know, and give each other space when you need it. You know, you're always going to be a unit, but it's okay to have your little thing. Like, if she wants to go and have a little lunch date with her friends and go and have some glass of wine and chill out, go, please, do your thing. You know what I mean? But like, you must, I think, just appreciate those things and grow together.
Thank you. I love that. Yeah. And I think I saw that you're working on a TV development or something like that.
Yes. So excited about this. You know what? One thing about being an artist, which I always found peculiar, is that if people don't hear these interviews, if people don't watch the interviews, they don't know who you are. They know your songs and they see this person, this enigma on stage, quite often perfect on stage. Can't mess up a dance move, can't mess up a note, but we're just humans. And I have this very, very silly, goofy side of me that never matched the pouty, you know, Mr. J. Sean side of me, right? The slick dude. And I was like, Man, I'm not like that all the time. My friends know a different side of me. And so basically,
Like,
this
I am
TV...
cool, but I'm funny too.
But I'm stupid, right? And I like to have a laugh, and I don't actually take myself that seriously. And quite often, these same stories that I shared with you, like the Bruno Mars stuff and so many of these other things, I'll tell my mates. They're like, bro, your life is so nuts. Like, it should be a TV show. I said, actually, it could be. And so we've developed this TV show, and it's actually just it's a comedy drama, a scripted comedy drama that's loosely based on some of the events of my life, and we're already signed up with a massive company called Big Deal Productions, who are based out of the UK, who recently just won an Emmy for a TV show that they produced called Dreaming Whilst Black. Anyway, super excited to be doing that. I get to, put my creative juice into something else, something different. Yeah, and that's already under development. So
it's a scripted comedy show that is
me
kind of
playing me.
You playing you.
So, but an alternate version of me. So, like Larry David, for example.
Yes, or like Little Dicky, kind of.
Exactly.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So it's super fun.
How has it been working on that?
So fun.
Because I'm sure if you just go back, you can think of so many moments that were like, this was like a show, and now you get to work on 100%.
Like literally, that's exactly right. So it's just, I think it's about that. It's about that growth, and it's about using all of the things that's in here. I've always said to people, if you're a creative, get it out. Don't let it sit on your hard drive. Don't forget about perfection. It's better out into the world than it is on your hard drive sitting there going stale. If it's something you loved or something you want to put it out. It doesn't matter if it hits or misses, but get it out at least. And I think that's one thing I love to do is like I love to do lots of different things and dabble in lots of different things that I'm interested in and excite me.
I know you've done so much in your career, and I know that your family is number one for you. But when it comes to your career, do you have a moment that has been such a proud moment for you that you could think of?
I mean, obviously, there's so many insane moments.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
so many insane moments.
Your head,
but I do think that if I was to pick a few, Madison Square Garden for me was always the ultimate holy grail of stages. I had done everything else. I'd done Wembley Arena. I'd done all of that stuff, but it was New York, and it's MSG, and the whole world knows that place. And for the first time that I got to step on that stage and be in those same green rooms as legends and walk those same tunnels and corridors as the legends and the greats, and then to be up on that stage performing to 20,000 New Yorkers who, listen, New Yorkers aren't going to be the easiest people to move. They've seen everything. So if you can move them, you can move a crowd, right? And it's same in London, same thing, right? But man, when I got to perform Do You Remember in 2012 and down on that stage and just saw 20,000 New Yorkers singing word for word, it was really one of those moments where I was like, okay, that was pretty epic. Hard to beat.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what a blessing that we live here.
Yeah.
And like this is our space now.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. There's lots of those beautiful moments. When I was doing the Enrique tour, being at Staples Center, it was a couple of months. Maybe a couple of weeks after my granddad had passed away. And my granddad said, he goes, listen, one thing I want to see. He saw my journey. He saw that I was already a pop star by then in England. So he was super proud of me. He'd go into the doctors and be like, I need to be first in line because my son is a pop star. Right? And it was really cute. He got to see the me rise, and then I was at Staples, and he goes, one thing I want to see before I go is I want to see you right at the top. And I got there, and it was an emotional moment for me singing on that stage at Staples because it was a few weeks after he had passed away, but it was a beautiful moment. Yeah, so it's a few of those kind of, there's career and then there's personal, right?
Yeah. That is so cool. Have you met almost everyone that you wanted to meet? Is there anyone that you haven't been able to like get in a room with or shake hands with?
I definitely have met pretty much anyone you can think of
and they're fans
in the
of you.
music industry.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah, which is amazing, especially like I said, because I'm from across the pond. You know what I mean? It's always a little bit more weird when you're from England, and then you're like all these people because you grew up with them or you watch. There was shows I would do with people, like, for example, a song that I did with Mary J. Blige called Each Tear. Mary J. Blige to us was like, still is like the queen of R&B soul. And she's thanking me for being on her song. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're Mary J. Blige. And again, you meet your icons and your idols, and sometimes they say it's good not to. They might let you down. So maybe there's some people who I haven't had the chance to meet, and maybe there's a reason why. And sometimes it's good to just leave it there. You can be a fan of their music, and you don't need to be friends and chummy chum. But yeah, it's been lots and lots of different wonderful, funny encounters.
And now with everything happening with your family and your TV show in development and your new single, how does it feel right now to be Jay Sean?
Extremely, extremely blessed. Like I said, very grateful for not only the blessings that I continue to get and all the different adventures I'm able to do, but for you guys and for the people at home and the people who have a choice every single day to listen to whatever they want or watch whatever they want, and they choose you. I just think that's it's a big blessing. But I'm enjoying the ride. I'm loving being a dad and having the balance of, like I said, being a pop star 1 second, coming off doing some epic stuff, which I will. And I'll tell my daughter and my son, and they're like, Daddy, I'm watching Zombies 4, shut up. I'm like, all right, you're right, actually. Yeah, that's probably more important. It's the most grounding thing. You know what I mean? And I kind of love that. I live for that. It's my favorite thing, having this really bizarre life on one side of things and then having everything I need right at home, Before
we wrap things up, I just want to remind you that because like you mentioned earlier, we do play your song all the time, all across the country and all the stations that I'm on still, which is such a blessing. But it's not random. I mean, those songs are tested. Those are gold songs. So people pick your song like out of a list of so many that they hear in a survey, or they can check off which ones they like. They're consistently picking yours.
Yeah, I love that. It's beautiful. Like I said, you never know what it means to someone at the time until you meet them and then they tell you. But there's, you get to spread that joy, and it's an amazing thing. Yeah. And it's stamped there forever. You know what I mean?
For me, it was like when I was a junior in high school and I got a big old car and I had a CD to put in there, and I mixed my CD and like you're one of the songs that was over, with and so thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time. Congratulations.
It's been amazing.
On everything you have going on.
Thank you.
You have a home here at Z100 in New York.
Love you guys. You know that. You know that. Big part of my journey, Z100 has been a massive, massive part. And one little thing before I go for Z100, I don't think they even know this. The first time I heard myself on Z100, I was getting a haircut from my barber, and Tara came running in from the car and she goes, "You're on the radio!" And the whole barbershop was just jumping because it was the first time that Downward was played on Z100, and she happened to be listening in the car, and everyone in the barbershop threw a party. It was just the most amazing thing. And I don't forget moments like that. Being played on this radio station is epic.
Oh, did you get a good haircut?
Luckily, he didn't mess it up in the excitement. But yeah.
That is so beautiful, and we're so blessed to be part of that journey for you, just likewise. So thank you so much for the time. We know you're busy, and we really appreciate hearing these stories and seeing everything you're up to now. And
definitely.
And congratulations on the little ones. You guys are doing the thing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck with your wedding. Have lots of fun.
Thank you.
All right.
Z100.